Hello everyone, my name is Temsu Longchari and I've been here in Australia for the last 22 years. My dad worked for the government and my mom was a teacher but chose to stay home. And we grew up with our mom mostly because my dad got transferred around quite often. I am not very sure, but maybe I was in class 7 or class 8. I was introduced to heroin and then that became the choice of my drugs. But once I started taking them, every part of my life was affected. I started stealing from home. I started stealing from my relatives. I had no relationship with God. I rejected Him. My mom was a devoted Christian, and apparently my mom was praying, I know there's no hope, and then even if you take away his physical body, please have grace upon him and then save his soul. And there were many occasions that I would actually go up to her and say, just rebuke her, and then laugh at her and say, there is no God. The drugs became a God for me. That was what I lived for. I think it was around August. I just came out from a detoxification center, and the first day I came out, I went looking for heroin. And then during the time I had a friend that I used to use together with. One day, out of nowhere, he just told me that, I think it's high time that we look into this Jesus thing, into this church thing. It was very funny to hear that from him, and then I was laughing at him, I was mocking him. The next day, I was going to visit him. There's a little tea shop, maybe around 15-20 meters away from his house. I went in and ordered a cup of tea. I heard a commotion outside. I went out and asked what happened. And one of the guys told me that someone was shot. My friend, he came to my mind. So I rushed up to his house and I saw him lying on a pool of blood. After that incident, I did decide to go and stay with my auntie for a while. And so the first day I was okay. Second day, I was just thinking about my life. And then I'm not sure when, but it came to a place where I started questioning what I was doing, I just cried, and then there was a deep desire, for anyone to change me. So I remember praying, saying this, if you're really there, if you're truly the God that my mom believes, then help me. After that, something came over me and I just decided that no, I have to stop. And with the intention that I will cut down my doses and then eventually stop. I made small packets in descending order. And when I start experiencing pain, I will take a smaller dose, and even the next day I would actually wait until I was in pain. And it took me 21 days, to be completely free from the withdrawal of heroin addiction. What happened in the end was I ended up going to Youth with a Mission, to a discipleship training school. During that time, we were doing the study of Father Heart of God. I was so touched. I was emotional that night. I was kneeling down and crying and praying, asking God that why He made me like this. If He was truly a loving God, why do I have this thing called addiction, the disease? And I clearly remember that night the voice coming inside me saying that I gave my life on the cross to redeem people like you. So that was a very comforting moment for me. I can't even explain the joy, the relief, the comfort that I got from that. And so after I finished that time for 6 months, I came back home. And from that day onwards, I think my path was actually guided by God. I think He put the desire in me, what was the right thing to do. He closed the wrong doors, He opened the right doors. I have no doubt that God was there from the beginning, when I cried out. And also answering my mother's, the daily prayer. She never gave up. That was how I got out of drugs and maintained, my sobriety, free from drugs.